right, welcome back to another episode of the Kartercast. I'm your host, Karter Baughan. With me, as always, Connor. NBA pod. If you didn't listen to the college basketball pod, tune in. You're probably listening to this on Friday. College basketball pod came out on Thursday. We're recording right now Thursday noon, February 1st. Go listen to that. Great episode with me, Connor, and Ben. We do Duke Carolina preview, talk about this big weekend coming up. But NBA pod today, Connor. NBA pod. I don't know how we can focus. I don't know how we can talk about and focus on the NBA when we have Duke Carolina in 2 days.
I know. I wore my GDT Bath shirt just to, make a little statement. I got the scores on it, from Coach K's retirement tour. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we're talking NBA regular season. My mind's not really here, Karter.
Yeah. No, I mean January NBA. Well, I guess it's February now. Day 1.
Happy February.
So yeah. I guess it is February NBA time. Before we get into today's episode, we're brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, best place to buy tickets, sports, concerts, whatever you're going to. Download the SeatGeek app today. Go to SeatGeek.com to get your tickets. Use promo code KarterCast for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. That's KarterCast to get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Go download the SeatGeek app today in the App Store, Google, whatever phone you have. Go on SeatGeek.com, buy your tickets today, use code KarterCast for $20 off your first purchase. Let's get into the show today. Connor, what did you want to start with today?
Well, real quick, with the SeatGeek code, Karter, if I want to go to a Hornets game, and it's $8 to get in after fees, and I use our SeatGeek code, do I then get reimbursed $12 on my account?
No,
questions that need answers.
So SeatGeek will not reimburse that, but the Hornets should be the one paying you to go to that game.
They should be paying you to, fill the seats. We're going to have these fake fans like the Chargers filling the seats soon in Charlotte.
Yeah, because I'm going to buy my Hornets Jazz tickets using SeatGeek, promo code KarterCast, and the game's in Utah. But the problem is I think the Hornets should be paying me to go because the last 3 times I've been on their social media pages, I've been on TV, blah, 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 as one of the only Hornets fans there. And the Charlotte Hornets have won in Utah. Sorry, let me rephrase this because I think I might clip this and because this is the craziest stat ever. The Charlotte Hornets have won in Seattle before they have won last time in Utah.
That's brutal.
It's been longer since they have won a game in Utah than Seattle. Seattle hasn't been a team in, 16, 17 years?
What are the Mormons doing out there? Is there some kind of magic over the Jazz Stadium whenever Charlotte comes to town?
Must be. Or Charlotte just doesn't care about this Jazz game.
Yeah. Or they lose a lot. Yeah. That would also be the answer.
Or they're just a horrifically bad franchise. That's
a good answer.
But all right, what did you want to start with?
Yeah, so the discourse, everybody's talking about it right now. It's the Joel Embiid injury. It's the 65-game threshold to meet the MVP requirements that were instated this year. The reason it's stemming is because 2 nights ago they played the Warriors in Golden State. Embiid, after, quote, ducking Jokic in Denver with an injury, being held out last second, and then not playing in Portland. They then traveled to Golden State where he decided to give it a go. Played 30 minutes, 14 points, 5 for 18 shooting, only 2 free throws, 8 turnovers. He was a minus 21 in that game. He wasn't right the whole game. And then, with 5 minutes left, he comes back in for the last spurt, and Draymond dives. We'll put some air quotes on that. Dives for the ball, lands on Embiid's knee, and he's out. And he's clearly in pain, clearly not right. But you could see it the whole game. He was playing hurt. He was playing injured. So what I wanted to get into is the 65-game threshold that the NBA has inserted into the league this year, is that good or bad? Has it had more positives or more negatives? And are guys playing hurt just to try to meet that threshold to get the awards, to get the All-NBA, which then goes into the contract incentive stuff? Because I think with Embiid, a lot of this, Twitter discourse, I'm not saying he cares that much about MVP, but for somebody on social media and as active as Joel Embiid is, he sees all of that. He sees all that. Whether he, lets it affect him or not, it's like Durant. They see all this stuff, and all of a sudden he's like, well, I don't want to keep sitting out and getting slandered. I want to play. I want to play through this injury, and all of a sudden, come March, April, May, he's going to be hurt, and everybody's going to be like, it's because of this rule. So what are your thoughts on the rule, just overall?
I like the rule. I don't care. Obviously guys are going to get hurt and stuff. That's the whole point of this rule is, hey man, if you don't play enough games, you shouldn't get this award. Because people, if we were just talking about it, if you're going on SeatGeek and you're buying tickets, you should know that, hey, there is almost a 95% chance this guy is going to play. The fact that these guys can't play 65 games anymore, the the whole thing is, if these guys are going to complain, oh, we have to play 65 games to get this is a joke. How about we just cut this? How about we just knock off 22 games from the season? I would be thrilled. How about we get rid of conferences, everybody plays each other twice, and we do the playoffs that way? Because what are we doing here? If you're going to complain about 65 games, let's play 60 games. Let's play home and away. Everybody plays one home and away game, and you get so it's even. You don't get to play, the Charlotte Hornets extra times. You don't get to play the Wizards extra times. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets to play even amount of games. The games actually matter more. And also, because guess what? I would say 60 out of 82 of the games in the NBA actually matter. I bet almost a third of the season, or a quarter of the season, is pretty irrelevant.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The only thing with shaving off games and doing all that is you're messing with the history and the records and the stats.
It's gotten to a point where it's already messed up.
The basketball historians would come for your throat.
I don't care, but the problem is, it's like the product becomes so unbearable. Then you have, and obviously they're never going to shorten the amount of games ever. The most they would ever shorten it to is 72, and even then. And the other problem is, it's like, okay, well, you can get mad and say, oh, basketball historians, blah blah blah. It's like, well, we've had multiple lockout seasons, and we still count those the same as other seasons. So why are we all of a sudden not counting this? We had a COVID season, and we're supposed to count that as the same as the other seasons. But all of a sudden we drop it down to 60 games, and the big bad basketball historians won't let you drop it down. You have to drop it down because these games do not matter at all. The NBA has turned into, at least baseball players play. I understand the NBA is very different. You actually have to, put out, it's a lot of energy every game, a lot of traveling, blah, blah, blah. In baseball, you could play 4 games in a day and you'd be probably fine. But, let's just switch it 60 games, 2 games a week, a college basketball schedule. You go the same duration in the calendar. You play games Friday or Saturday and Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing. You spread them out during the week. It would be awesome. How exciting would every NBA game be if it was 60 games rather than 82?
Well, it would be. They would mean more, but I'll give you a reason they're not going to do that. Because if you take 22 games for each team, multiply it by, I think, 15, because you have to cut it in half for teams playing each other, that's 330 games that the NBA is missing out on. Ticket sales revenue, concessions, parking, all this stuff that goes into it, jersey sales, merchandise sales, all this stuff, they won't do that. Even if it makes the NBA more watchable and every game mean more, I doubt they do that. And you even saw it, they are willing to adapt and they are willing to change. So I'm not going to say it would never happen, but it seems like the direction they're going is in-season tournament, we'll even add a game that just means more, but we'll still have the other 82. I really have a hard time believing they'll shorten the season. But you're right about the lockout years and the COVID year. That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. And obviously they're never going to do it, and we're talking about whether the 65-game threshold matters. It should matter. You should have these thresholds. I can't do math off the top of my head. What's 65 out of 82 games, the percentage? So you got to play 80% of your games. So you have to show up to work 80% of the time. You have to show up to work Monday through Thursday, and you're getting Fridays off essentially. If you can't play 65 games, you're not MVP. That's the whole thing, and they put these contract clauses into it and stuff. It's so if you get hurt, that's just what it is. If you miss a season, if you miss a whole season, then you don't get to become MVP. That's what it is. If you miss 18 games, you should not be the MVP. You should not be All-Star. It does not matter. Maybe there should be some caveat if there's hey, this guy was so much better than everyone else in the 50 games he played. But even then, if you're missing 35 games, you're probably not the All-Star anyways.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And we saw that my argument would be, and I heard Ryan Russillo say this on his podcast, is that, and I thought this too as soon as the rule was insinuated, the voters take that into account. These voters aren't just looking at stats and looking at points per game and rebounds per game and saying, oh, he only played 45 games, but he has better stats per game, so we're going to vote him in. I think the voters could have been trusted to take that into account. I don't think they're going to give the MVP to somebody that's played 60 games. We saw it with Rookie of the Year, funny enough, with Joel Embiid when he played 50 games, and they gave it to Malcolm Brogdon just because they were there's no way this is enough games to win this award. So I think the voters could have been trusted to do that. Now, I know what the NBA is doing is we want to guarantee that this product gets out there. Like, 'cause all of a sudden, if players are load managing 2, 3, 4 games at the end of the year, they're not going to do that anymore because they want to hit that contract incentive to where it's like, oh, you can make all NBA team now. But I almost feel like it's doing more harm than it's worth. I'm not totally against it, but you got guys like Embiid playing hurt. Halliburton comes back early and plays a 22-minute restriction. Like, come on, that's for one reason. He wants to make all NBA.
Yeah, I can see the downside of the rule. It's like, okay, these guys are just going to play and not try in these games. Like, they're like, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to try in 50 of the games, but 15 of them, I'm just not even going to care. Like, I'll even play 20 minutes. I'll sit the second half kind of thing. But, like, I feel like that's the crazy thing. I don't know if is there a minutes amount that you have to hit?
It's 20 minutes per game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, what's stopping a player from playing 20 minutes in the first half and you're like, all right, I'm done?
Nothing. Yeah, if you play the 65 games, you only have to play 20 minutes in that game. So, but then I think that gets into where it's like these guys are competitive. Most of them are competitive where it's like if you play 20 minutes, you're out there grinding with the guys. Like, you want to finish it out. You don't want to sit out for the last 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's almost doing more harm than it's worth. And it sucks to see Embiid playing through an injury. And we'll never know the real reason, but he was clearly not right. And people were bashing him about the whole Embiid versus Jokic thing. And I think that debate's gotten out of control. It's not even fun anymore. To where, like, it's fun at the lunch table to be like,
was it ever fun?
I don't think it was. It's fun at the lunch table to be like LeBron or Jordan or, Wilt or Bill Russell or like all these like random comparisons, or like people we watch where it's like Kobe versus, I don't know, LeBron or whoever. Like, it was always those debates. The Jokic and Embiid was just gross at this point. Like, they clearly don't have a rivalry with each other. So why are we kind of manufacturing one? I don't know.
Yeah, and also it's not even a rivalry because one is so much better than the other.
Yeah, and people, like Jokic fans, should not be like pissed off that Embiid won an MVP last year. He deserved it. Like, then Jokic went on in the playoffs and dominated and got Finals MVP and won a championship. But that doesn't mean that hindsight should be like, oh, Jokic should have been the MVP because it's a regular season award. Like, I don't know why people are so upset about that.
Yeah, and also why? Like, I understand the MVP is great historically and stuff, but like, all that matters is a title.
Right.
Like,
and if we're being
especially
completely
for these
honest,
guys that have already won MVP, it's like,
yeah,
focus on winning the title, especially if you're Embiid. I know you're a competitor and blah blah blah, and you want that MVP award and you want to be named the best player in the league and all that. But like, if you're Embiid, you've already won the MVP. You've done it. You've gotten there. The championship is your next spot. Like, everything should be in line to going for this championship. Sit out some games. Like, if you're actually hurt, then sit out. Don't go for this MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Be ready for the playoffs because every single year you overdo it in the regular season and you're hurt in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with a guy like Embiid, who's 7'1", 7'2", has an injury history. He doesn't come back quickly from these serious injuries, and then when the playoffs start, something's not right. It's almost every year he's banged up come April and May. So I think you're right as far as he's won the MVP. Philly has zero chance without him in the lineup fully healthy in the playoffs. So if he has to sit out the next 20 games for him to be healthy in April and May, so be it. Nobody should follow him and be like, he's a fraud, like he doesn't deserve this and that and that. The only time when it matters, we always get on this show and we're like, NBA regular season, watered down, game to game, doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is him healthy come May. Because they're not going to fall out of the playoff race. They will be a top 4 seed if he plays 55 games. I don't get it. You have to be healthy. That is the number one priority. Screw the MVP. Screw everybody on Twitter. With a guy like Embiid, who's been as healthy as he has, I can't believe he hasn't had more of a serious injury. Like the way he falls and gets hurt a lot, he always seems to come back, but he's never 100%. You got to be 100% if you want a chance to chase a title.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, look at LeBron. LeBron has, ever since he's gotten into his older age and stopped trying to go for these MVPs, he's taken off more games in the regular season. He doesn't play as hard a defense in the regular season, and he's saving himself for the playoffs. That's the name of the game, and that's what you have to do.
Yeah, and that LeBron is the best at that. Just picking his spots, taking a defensive possession off here, or knowing like when to switch and like I'll just hang out in the corner on this guy. And I think Embiid will get to that point. But the thing is, when he goes out there, he's going 100%. I don't know. I'll just close with this on this point. People need to stop bashing Embiid for, quote, ducking Jokic. Like, I get it. Like, it's a little bit. Like, even when it happened on Saturday, I was like, okay, what the hell? But then, like, you really watch him in this Warriors game, he was clearly not healthy. And if you're a Sixers fan, you got to be like, look, I know it sucks getting bashed on Twitter, but we got to be healthy come April. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail there. Let's talk about last night. Let's talk about the Bucks last night. Dame's return to Portland ended in the dumbest way possible, where Giannis gets the ball down 3, and you knew Portland was going to foul and all this stuff. But what did you want to bring up about the Bucks and Lillard's return and everything?
Well, first off, with the Giannis thing, not the best decision. Doc Rivers tried to explain it post game. Did you see this, by the way? Did you see what he said when somebody asked him about it?
Doc Rivers' explanation now.
He said his entire thought process was, if Giannis catches the ball, he, quote, anticipated they would foul him. And he was like, if Giannis can make the first one, big if, then he felt good about Giannis having the best chance to get an offensive rebound off his own miss. Because we've seen the Luka and the Donovan Mitchell, like, clink off the front of the rim and get it back.
Why would you not just shoot a 3?
Well, he knew they were going to foul him in the backcourt, was the thing. And so he was like, But then my thing is, if you're the Bucks, you want Giannis on the block. You want him shoving some guy in the back, make the ref call a foul. He has a crazy wingspan. He will go up and get the rebound. He has more of a chance to do that than getting his own miss at the free throw line. And he's a 65% free throw shooter. He's not even going to make the first one probably, which he didn't. And then that screws him. So I just thought it was bad all around. You got to get the ball in somebody's hands that will at least make the first one and then give you a chance to tip it up with 3 seconds left. You can't ask your team to tip it back out for a 3 with 5 seconds left. It doesn't make any sense. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah, it was ridiculous too. But you want to talk about the tribute videos before the game?
Yeah, I did. So if you're an NBA team, if you're an NBA fan, what is the bare minimum that can happen for a guy to get a tribute video? Like, what do they have to contribute to a franchise to be deserving of a tribute video? Because obviously we've got, LeBron will get one in Miami and Cleveland, or, Durant, as much as people hated him after he left Oklahoma City, he deserved one for OKC. Russ deserved one for OKC. All these guys. What's kind of the bare minimum to get one? Like, what do you have to accomplish? How long do you have to play there? Who do you have to be? Maybe even a player example. What do you think?
I think we talked about it before we were recording. Terry Rozier at Charlotte, I think that's the bare minimum to get a tribute video.
I think so too. Just like
he's going to get one when he goes back.
Well, he should. They gave him one when he left. They put together a little video compilation the day he got traded. So I fully anticipate him getting one. And it's deserving for a franchise like Charlotte who doesn't have much.
Does Ben Simmons get one if he ever returns to Brooklyn?
You mean Philly?
No. If he leaves Brooklyn and comes back.
I don't even think he would get acknowledged. Like, I don't even think the fans would care enough to boo him at this point. It's just like, well.
No. Spin zone. Would he get one just returning to the court in Brooklyn?
There you go. See, the other night he should have got one. Like, every time he misses 45 games and comes back, they should play one. Like, oh, Ben Simmons with a 8.6 rebound, 7 assist performance against Miami.
Yeah, they're showing LSU highlights.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is with the Sixers, but he did good here. Like, this is good. That's funny. What do you think, though?
I mean, if you win a title, if you were a main piece of a title team, obviously you're gonna get one.
Yeah. But Rozier was never an all-star, but he meant a lot to Charlotte. He was one of their best players year after year. Yeah. And he's there 5 years?
I think he's the bare minimum.
I think so too. And the whole thing with Durant getting one, and he even said on Twitter, he was like, they should just not do it. It'll just make it easier. I don't know. I mean, out of the big 3 in Brooklyn, he's the only one that really tried, if we're being completely honest. He's the only one that really showed up game to game in series and stuff. Like, Harden and Kyrie were just very hit or miss. So I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But it's also not some big emotional return, like Durant returning to Brooklyn.
Will Kyle Lowry get one as a Hornet?
Only if Ish Smith does.
Ish Smith, yeah. I'm trying to think, I want to say, I feel like the Jazz would give, one to Joe Ingles when the Magic play here.
Or Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels right. The Jazz would do something like that.
I feel like
does Gobert get one?
Ugh. I mean, he's already
I think he has to
Utah again, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think last year, but I think he would qualify for one.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, he made All-Star teams and Defensive Player of the Year. He would. I mean, if Terry Rozier's getting one, he's getting one.
Yeah. Okay. So Terry Rozier is the baseline then.
I think we figured out Terry Rozier is the baseline for a tribute video. I think anything less than that is what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I think so too, because he was there long enough. And then you got guys like Kawhi, who played 1 year in Toronto, but won a title and won Finals MVP. Yeah,
he was the best player.
That's all that
on
matters.
team. Like Siakam's going to get one in Toronto and all this stuff, but
yeah, Siakam, yeah.
Like, does Festus Ezeli get one when he goes back to Golden State?
Did Harrison Barnes get one the year after he left? I don't even remember.
I bet he got one. I don't know if
that
was
would be the
a
baseline
huge thing, though. I don't know if that was a huge thing when he went back though. Because that was what, 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
It was whenever they got Durant. So yeah,
so 16.
Yeah, well, I guess would be the year. Yeah.
Yeah, so 8 years ago.
I wonder. I don't know. Yeah, he went. I mean, he got drafted there. I don't know. I have a question for you. Who will be the next Hornet to get a tribute video? So it'll be definitely Terry Rozier.
LA.
You think so?
Yeah, I bet Miles Bridges might get one.
No. It depends on how long it's been when he leaves. If it's next year, I don't think he gets one.
Yeah. I bet Miles Bridges gets one. And they put together a little hype video with Eric Collins' commentary over it. I bet Miles Bridges gets one. It's not going to be a long one. It's not going to be like a dramatic one. It's like a 30-second one. And welcome back to Charlotte, Miles Bridges.
Yeah. Nothing will be as emotional as I was at the Kemba return game when Boston played there. And that was a pretty emotional one. People loved Kemba.
Yeah. I know other fans listening to this are like, you guys are over Kemba? Seriously?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The amount of games he kept us in that the Hornets should not have been in, unreal. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting topic, though.
Yeah, I can't think of any other names. What else did we want to talk about?
I wanted to get into this. I know you don't really want to talk about this, but LeBron's hourglass tweet, and people will say, for those that don't know, LeBron tweeted the emoji of an hourglass, and it was specifically the one where the time has run out, where all the sand was at the bottom. And so, of course, all the Twitter sleuths were like, that means somebody's getting traded. Darvin Ham, like, pack your bags, you're out of here. Turns out the next day he got, partnered with DraftKings. So that could have been what it's about. But it seems like everything LeBron does is a little underhanded. There's always some underhanded meaning, Karter.
Yep. I think this goes back to our TikTok video like from a year ago, I think. LeBron is just a basic white girl. Everything he says has something behind it. Like, nothing, if you ask LeBron, you're hanging out with LeBron and LeBron you're like, hey, LeBron, are you okay? It's like, I'm fine. No, seriously, I'm fine. That's how LeBron would respond to you. Everything is, there's something behind everything he says. And that's how every woman is.
He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then you're like, okay, cool. And then you start walking. He's like, oh, man.
So you're
woe is me.
What was actually wrong?
Yeah. Oh, so you just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like,
okay.
This is like a high school girl. LeBron subtweets that, and then all the dudes like Rob Pelinka and Darvin Ham, they're all in a group chat like, what does this mean? Who's she talking about? What's going on? Like, is this about you?
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing here? And everybody's like discussing their theories and stuff.
He's literally just a hot chick.
And then you got Christian Wood subtweeting 20 minutes before the game whenever lineups are announced and Jackson Hayes is starting.
Christian Wood is like LeBron's fat friend. You're like, shut up.
Yeah, cock blocking the whole time.
Like, we don't care. Hey, Christian Wood, we do not care.
Or he sees LeBron subtweet and it's like, oh, here we go. Let me take notes. Like, it's time.
Yeah.
And he swore it wasn't about the lineup after the game. It's like, give me a break.
Yeah, it's like a hot girl wearing a crop top, and then Christian Wood's like, ooh, I should do that too. And you're like, Christian Wood, you should not.
Don't do that, Christian Wood. Let's stay in the oversized and tall section.
Yeah, look, hey, double XL still. Don't pretend you're a large.
That's funny. Do you think, spiraling off that, do the Lakers actually make a move? We don't have to spend long on this, but do they get that third star like a Levine or a DeJounte Murray? What do you think?
I don't know. You see the tweets. You get the Jake Fisher fake rumor every day where it's like,
yeah,
per Jake Fisher, Mohamed Salah is going to sign with the Lakers. You're like, shut up. Like, nothing Jake Fisher's ever reported has ever turned out to actually happen. You get those reports every day. It's like D'Angelo Russell could be moved for Miles Bridges and all this stuff. I don't know. The move, like, every Laker fan's going to talk themselves into like, oh, we could go get this guy. We could go get Miles Bridges. We could go get, some other star or whatever. Zach LaVine. It seems like they're just going to get Gordon Hayward, doesn't it?
That's what I was going to say is even if they don't make a trade, the buyout market will be huge for them. And I don't think I don't think he'll hit the buyout market. I think there will be a team to go and get him, which could be LA. But if you're the Lakers, I mean, I could see them sitting there and doing nothing. Like, really. And then people get all mad about it, and then they'll try to get somebody in the buyout market. But what's the move for them? Like, does DeJounte Murray really make them that much better?
I think so. I think
he's a better fit than LaVine.
So my thing is, I don't think LaVine, Murray, I don't think that matters as much as more so it matters. I think if the Lakers don't make that move, LeBron's not going to buy into this team. I think we're going to see LeBron start sitting out second half of the season. He's like, you know what? I don't have a lot of games left. Let's not waste it this season. We didn't make a move.
Yep.
I don't care. Because he's always going to put that pressure on the front office to make that move. And like we've seen a million times, and Windhorst will say a million times, if LeBron does not believe in a team, then he's not going to play as hard. He's going to sit out games. You're going to see him give up on defense. It's going to be very evident game to game.
Yep.
And I think we're slowly seeing that game to game now. Until they make that move, I think that move can refreshen LeBron and get him, all right, he's re-energized and let's go.
Well, that's the thing, is if LeBron's not bought in, then your season's over. Like, that's basically what it is. They're sitting at 500 right now. There's that funny picture of him, like, glaring at Darvin Ham going around. But I don't know what the answer is. Like, is a coaching change what they need? Maybe it is. Like, maybe it's just like, let's get somebody in here that the players believe in. But I don't think Darvin Ham's doing, like, he doesn't deserve 100% of the blame.
No, I think it's just get new players in. That's what LeBron does. You get a new player in, you're like, okay, like, things are a little bit
now they can make a run.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when they got rid of Russell Westbrook. Like, all right, things are turning around right now. So, and like Russell Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell, I'm not going to say there's a massive difference between the two. Like, yes, different play styles a little bit, but talent-wise, like, it's not that different. Like DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine, not that different. I don't know. I think they need to make a move, but.
Yeah,
does Gordon Hayward get LeBron out of bed?
Maybe if all of a sudden Gordon Hayward goes to LA and stays healthy and plays 35 minutes a game.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna play. He's gonna hit that 65 game threshold in LA.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. Last thing on the Lakers, I think they will have to make a move. Honestly, just if not for anything else, than to just keep LeBron engaged, than to just make LeBron believe they have a chance and it's worth playing the last 30 games full speed, where it's like, oh, we can make a push for a top 6 seed, or we need to get this home play-in tournament game. Because right now it's looking like they're going to be in the play-in.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Would you rather be the Knicks or the Lakers right now? All things considered.
Oh, that's a good question. I think I'd rather be the Knicks. I don't think they have more talent than the Lakers, but I think just the overall direction of the franchise, fans are starting to believe again. They're on a huge streak right now after getting OG Anunoby. Brunson's playing at an MVP level. His game's at an MVP level right now. I just think the overall direction of the franchise is looking up. Now, if you're asking me who I think has a better chance to win a title, I'm taking the LeBron and Anthony Davis team. I am. But as a franchise, with assets that they have and the direction of the franchise, I like the Knicks. I think there's just more hope right now.
I think there is more hope in New York, too. And this actually finally feels like the time they get free agents. I think so, too. Is coming there. Like, they're going to get that big name now. It's finally coming.
It can't be Donovan Mitchell. Cannot be Donovan Mitchell. That would not work.
Why not?
Him and Brunson in the backcourt. I mean, it's just like Swiss cheese. Like, come to the rim. But I guess if they have Mitchell Robinson and Anunoby on the wing, like, that would be the team to mask it. But I don't know.
Maybe that's why they got OG, and they're like, hey, he can cover up for Mitchell and Brunson's defensive liability.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. This does feel like the time because, the last 5 years it's been, Durant coming to New York, or Zion, we're going to get Zion, or we're going to get LeBron. And it's like,
Zion in New York would still be awesome.
There is a chance that would still happen. The Pelicans, like, they have a good reason to move on from him if he doesn't, start doing something down there.
Yeah, they should move on from him. Like, Charlotte, just take a chance. Just go get Zion. Be fun.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Give up your assets. Would you give up LaMelo for Zion?
No, but I'd give up.
Would you give up Mark Williams for Zion?
Yeah.
I think I would too after this injury history.
Yeah, I don't like back injuries. Back and foot injuries for big men is back, foot, and hip are like the holy trinity of death for big men for injuries. Like
would you give up Brandon Miller?
No.
I think LaMelo and Miller are the two untouchables. And you could
Yeah,
you
especially
could
just
have a
lately.
conversation with
Now,
LaMelo, but
if Brandon Miller was on a crazy contract, then I would say, like, if he was on a supermax deal or whatever, I would say I'd maybe take the swing. But he's on a rookie deal; you can't get rid of him.
right, I agree. Okay.
All right, yeah. I guess that's talking Knicks. I mean, they're good now.
They are 30. What are they? What are they in the standings right now? They're pretty high up there. They're currently sitting at 31-17. They're third in the conference right now. They're only 2 games back from the 2 seed. So,
Do you believe that this team can make a conference finals?
I don't.
See, I might.
Well, the only argument would be defense travels. Defense in the
That's what
playoffs, like that carries.
That's what I was gonna say. If they now, I think it's very, very, very important they get the 3 seed.
Yeah.
I think it's very important you get that 3 seed so you get to avoid Boston and they get to go to Milwaukee. I think they could go to 7 with Milwaukee.
I think so too, because this is another one of those teams like Miami last year where it's like they play hard, they play defense, they don't quit, they hit timely shots, and all of a sudden Milwaukee's staring at a 3-1 deficit or a 2-1 deficit, and it's like, how the hell did we get here?
Now, if you're the Knicks, you do have to worry that if you're like in the 3-6 matchup, you might get matched up with Milwaukee or Miami.
That would be the grossest series. I mean, over-under for that game, for that series would be like 210. Like
Yeah,
over-under
it'll-
207.
It'll be like early 2000s basketball. You're seeing 72-85 finals.
That's the noon slot if that happens, by the way. That's the noon playoff slot.
Yeah, that is that. I don't know. That would get prime time because it's the Knicks and stuff. That's the problem because like you are going to have the Celtics playing the Magic in the 1-8 spot on NBA TV on Tuesdays.
Or the Bucks playing the Pacers or the Bulls.
Yeah. The Bucks Bulls is the all-time NBA TV series.
But if you're the Knicks, you almost want to see the Bucks because the Bucks calling card is their offense. It's the pick and roll, Damon Giannis, Lopez hitting threes, Beasley spotting up, Middleton in the mid-range. The Knicks have the defensive wings to stop that, to hinder that.
Yep.
They can put Anunoby on Giannis or Dame. They've got DiVincenzo. They've got Josh Hart they can bring in. Mitchell Robinson might even be back. That is the team that can stop Milwaukee's offense, but yet Milwaukee's defense is so bad the Knicks can score. Brunson would have his way with those guards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I'm sneaky buying into this Knicks team. Like, usually I try and say a little, like, whenever, the Jazz were on that run last season or whenever the Pacers were on their run earlier this season, I'm like, I'm not, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. Even the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are a great example. I'm like, I'm still, like, something doesn't feel right about this. The Knicks, you're like, you watch them, you're like, oh, man, dude, this team is going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
They are talented, and they play so hard.
There is a path for them to make an Eastern Conference Finals. Now, there would need to be some dominoes fall in their favor. They would need to get a favorable matchup. I think Milwaukee's a great matchup for them, or even Cleveland. They could probably give Cleveland some serious problems again.
Even the Sixers, if they somehow matched up with the Sixers.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just think some dominoes have to fall to where Embiid's not 100%, or somebody twists an ankle or goes down, and then all of a sudden the Knicks win 2 series.
Knicks Sixers, who are you taking in 7 games?
I'm still taking the Sixers. If you're telling me Embiid's healthy and he's only played 55 games and he's going into that playoffs rested, I think Maxey can play 40 minutes a game and give them some trouble.
I don't know, man. I would almost lean Knicks.
Who are they going to put on Embiid? That's the thing. You can get away with Anunoby on like Giannis, maybe. You can try and slow him down, but Embiid's just too big.
But the thing is, I think you just let Embiid go get his 35 points and then make everybody else beat you.
That's fair. I think that's fair. It would be close. I would take that series to go to 7 games.
Are you worried about Tobias Harris in the playoffs?
Probably not. You might just stick Anunoby on Tyrese Maxey and say, screw it. Beat me.
Yeah.
I think that they can make some noise.
Yeah, last 2 things I want to talk about. Surprise segment I didn't prepare you for or anything. We'll do that last. First off, let's do Hornets Minute. 1-minute timer, State of the Union, starting now.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
It's bad right now. It's bad. There was the Rozier comments that were taken out of context. He went on Twitter and said some stuff. He was like, this isn't really what I meant. But he basically said that losing is accepted in Charlotte. Losing is expected, and when people lose, they're not upset. And then he was saying in Miami, there's a different, heat culture, blah, blah, blah. But there is an expectation to win and be competitive in every single game. So they lost their first, 4 games with Rozier there. And then you got Charlotte losing by 25. And LaMelo's, cutting up on the bench with Book Knight and Bryce McGowan's. And it just seems like nobody cares. I think this franchise is the laughing stock of the league right now, and it's pitiful to watch them night in and night out. Like, PJ Washington scored 40, or Miles got 30 points on 25 shots. It's like, yay, we still lost by 12. Like, the Bulls game last night, went into the fourth quarter, tied, lost by double digits. It's just very frustrating as a fan, because there's not a lot of hope right now.
There's no hope. They are I think they're the laughing stock of professional sports franchises, not even just the NBA. I mean, it is a clinical joke right now. I mean, we don't have to reiterate it. They've never had playoff success. They've never had any success. I think what it boils down to now, get rid of the coach. You got to get rid of Steve Clifford. Just get rid of
and Kupchak.
And the GM coach got to go. Bring in a whole new crew. It's new ownership, new regime. Let's get something new in there. Get rid of the Haywards of the world. Let's start things new. Run it with LaMelo, Mark Williams, and Brandon Miller next season. Let's have fun.
I agree, and that's the thing is that you even saw it with the Panthers. Like, they just got fresh blood in there, like a younger guy who comes in invigorated, ready to get going. The Hornets just need some kind of shot of adrenaline because there's been no injury updates on Hayward, who's supposed to be playing his way to more trade value, but there's no updates there. Mark Williams has been out for 40 games, and nobody said a word about him. No timetable for return. It's just terrible, and they're the most unserious franchise in the league.
All right, I have a theory, and I think this might work.
Okay, hit me.
What if we had a porn star as our head coach?
All of a sudden, Jordan Poole demands a trade to Charlotte.
Zion's demanding a trade.
Zion is there.
LaMelo's going to play out of his mind. LaMelo's not going to get an ankle sprain anymore. He's playing 82 games.
LaMelo will be in first-team All-NBA talk.
Who else is getting traded to that team?
Well, Gordon Hayward's instantly gone. He'll just quit.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward. Mason Plumlee is going to pretend he never played for the Hornets.
Cody Zeller is just like rolling in his grave in New Orleans.
Jordan Poole would be on the Hornets immediately, and LaMelo would probably make first-team All-NBA.
PJ's probably going to be a starter, All-NBA starter also.
He would sign a veteran minimum contract. He would sign a vet min.
Rozier's back. Screw heat culture. He's back.
So yeah, I think we solved Charlotte Hornets' issues. I think the Hornets just need to hire a porn star as their
or an Instagram model.
Yeah, just like an OnlyFans model.
Oh man.
Oh, we're such a joke. Last thing I want to do, and then we'll get out of here. Let's play a little College of the NBA. I did this with Ben earlier this week. Think of names off the top of your head. I can cut stuff out if we're taking forever.
Okay.
We'll just name players. Let's name like 3 to 4 players, and you just got to say where they went to college. We can do 2010s or people who aren't playing anymore too.
Okay. Do I need to try to stump you, or are we just doing
Nah, it can be it can be whatever.
Okay.
Do you have a name off the top of your head?
Darren Collison.
UCLA.
Okay, good job.
All right, nice. I know it's hard to think of these off the top of your head because you have to make sure you know them really well. Let's go with an NBA legend. Let's see if you know this. Where did Steve Nash play college ball?
Santa Clara, right?
Okay, yep. All right.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna be disappointed.
Let's get cooking.
Didn't know that.
How about PJ Tucker?
Texas.
Yep. Okay. Pretty good.
Okay. All right. We're cooking here. Let's go with a recent guy. DeAndre Hunter.
Virginia. That's an easy one.
Easy. Yeah.
Easy. Let me think. What's a good one we could do? Bryce McGowan's.
Wasn't it College of Charleston?
Wasn't it Nebraska?
Who was at College of Charleston on the Hornets?
Oh gosh.
Wasn't it? It was the guy who was in the G League with Bryce McGowan's.
So McGowan's is Nebraska. I was right. Was it Grant Riller?
Grant Riller, that was it.
Was it? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got them mixed up. Dang it.
Elite ball knowledge. Wasn't Nate Darling.
it Nate Darling?
I think Nate Darling was Delaware.
One of them was College of Charleston. I know that for a fact.
Oh my God, Nate Darling was Delaware. I just got that off the top of my head.
What, did you look up Grant Riller or whatever?
Grant Riller College.
College of Charleston.
College of Charleston.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I knew because I remember I lost money on College of Charleston. I know. It was when they played Carolina in the Dean Dome and they barely covered.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with. Should we go an older player or a current player? What would you like?
Let's do current.
Current. Let's go with Trae Young.
Oklahoma.
Okay, I was gonna be like, you don't know where Trae Young played.
No. He played a year with Brady Manick. Funny enough.
Marcus Smart.
Oklahoma State.
Let's go with. If you have one, just interrupt me.
I had one. I lost it for some reason. Kenneth Faried.
Didn't he go to Morehead State?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was
Look
like,
at you.
I'm pretty sure I knew that. I was like, yeah, because
He's like the all-time NCAA D1 like leading rebounder, I think. Still.
let's see here. I'm trying to think of a hard one off the top of my head. Let's go with Daniel Gafford.
Oh gosh. I don't know. Indiana? Is there like a community conference?
SEC. I'm gonna double check.
I genuinely have no idea.
Okay, yeah, I was right. Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this going.
All right. Let me think of a good one. What's a random ass player in the NBA right now?
Markelle Fultz.
Washington.
Okay, just making sure.
What about damn, who was I gonna say? Bruce Brown.
Auburn.
Miami, right?
Oh, wait.
Isn't Bruce Brown Miami?
Why did I think Auburn?
Yeah, Miami.
Who am I getting him mixed up with?
God, come on, Karter. Unbelievable.
Who am I getting him mixed up with? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why I thought Auburn.
ACC guy, Miami.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Larry Bird.
Indiana State.
Yep.
I'm not as bad at this as I thought it was going to be. What about Darren Williams?
Illinois.
Okay.
Draymond.
Draymond.
Problem is, who?
Draymond.
Michigan State.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Maybe we should just like get a ton of easy ones right and put out a TikTok and be like, dude, these guys know ball.
Yeah. These guys clearly need a podcast. Like, this is all the credentials we need.
Bradley Beal.
Florida.
Yep.
Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson.
I think I know this one. I do.
It's either Pac-12 or Big East, right?
It's Pac-12.
Taj Gibson played at the University of Southern Cal.
There we go.
Okay, that's what I thought.
What about George Hill? I'll never forget this one.
Isn't it IUPUI?
Yep, you know ball. Karter knows ball.
Derek Fisher.
The Lopez. Derek Fisher? Oh, God. Derek Fisher in college. I don't know. What conference?
I don't know what conference they're in.
I have no clue then.
Arkansas, Little Rock.
Oh. What about the Lopez brothers?
Stanford.
Bobby Portis?
Arkansas?
Yeah, you're good. You're good at this. I told you I would be pretty mid at this.
I say we did it last week on the college basketball pod. Ben and I were having some trouble.
It's tough. Some of those like mid 2000s people, it's like, oh my gosh, like I knew them in the NBA, and it's like, where'd they go to college?
It wasn't
You
even
have no clue.
mid-2000s. We did all current. Gabe Vincent.
Current might be a little harder for me. Gabe Vincent?
Yeah. That was
I don't
what we
know.
did last week.
No clue. Genuinely.
UC Santa Barbara.
Yes, I would not have known that. I think it might be harder to do current players. Clarkson? It's like a weird one, isn't it?
Nope.
No?
No, you'll be like, oh, of course Jordan Clarkson played there.
USC.
Nope.
Where?
Missouri.
I wouldn't have got that. I would not have gotten that one.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
That
I don't
is
know how
tough.
much we'll keep in there, but anyhow. All right, that's it from us. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Connor_Sparrow, at CarterB8. If you didn't tune into the College Basketball Podcast, tune in with Ben, Connor, and I. It's great. Talk about Duke, UNC, and all the other big games this weekend, among other things. And stay tuned next week, Super Bowl pod, the Super Bowl props pod. I'm so excited. Like I said last night when we were doing the College Basketball Podcast, I think I love doing some of the preview pods because then you can talk yourself into anything during the preview podcast, and I'm so thirsty for football. I just need to quench my thirst for football, and I get to talk about previews. But and March Madness is just ridiculous. I love everything about March Madness. But the Super Bowl props pod is easily one of my favorite podcasts that we do every year. I'm so excited. There's going to be 4 of us on there next week. Very, very, very excited about that. And we'll see y'all next week. Tune in, subscribe, and before we go, download the SeatGeek app today. Use code CarterCast for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Use code CarterCast. Download the SeatGeek app today or go to SeatGeek.com to buy your next tickets to your concert or sports event. And
hey, Carter.
That's it. What's up?
Congrats on the Duke win. I just want to tell you, they played hard, and congratulations. Like, they deserved it. They deserved it.
You know, I'm the one who's going to be editing this, so maybe I will just either edit that part out or I won't post this podcast until, like, right after the game. So, therefore, this doesn't come out. But anyhow, all right, that'll do it from us. We'll see y'all next time. And congrats to Carolina's winning. Bye-bye.